Should I use an attorney to set up an LLC in the state I live in or where the real estate will be? So this is Johanna who sent this question in, and she is asking specifically about LLCs for real estate, like rental properties or commercial real estate. Boy, this is a tough one. I can roll the dice and I can answer both ways. So let me just zoom out for a second. If you have real estate in one state, so let's say that you live in Iowa and you have real estate in Nebraska. If you get sued over your real estate in Nebraska, I guarantee you that court case is going to be in Nebraska. So you are eventually going to need an attorney in Nebraska. When we set up businesses for people, we typically will set up a LLC in their home state, or if their home state is bad for LLCs, then in a state like Iowa or Wyoming. And then we also set up an LLC in each state where they own real estate. Now, some states, the LLC laws are very standard. So there is a set of laws called the Uniform Limited Liability Code. And so if they're in a uniform state, then you would find that attorneys who are familiar with the uniform code for limited liability companies are going to be comfortable with all of those states. But if you're in a state that doesn't have the uniform code, or your attorney's in a state that doesn't have it and you've got property in a state that does, you're really going to want an attorney in that state. And so I will say this, that I have done it both ways, and I have, in fact, just today, I referred a client to an attorney in another state to help them because they were starting to ask questions that were not simple questions that could be abstracted to generally true across the country. It was questions very specific to a state that was not Iowa. And I said, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to set you up with an attorney in that state. So I would say that, first of all, you should have an attorney somewhere. And then if your attorney is competent to help you make decisions about that other state's laws, then I would say it's probably okay. But that attorney is probably going to say, well, I'm okay with this, but I'm not okay with that. And they might give you other advice. But I would suggest starting with an attorney in the state where you are first, and then use that as your home base. And so I guess what we would call that is, in the legal world, we call it your nexus. And so if you are a Minnesota-based real estate investor, your nexus is Minnesota. And then maybe you're buying property in Minnesota, Iowa, and Arkansas. And so you might end up having attorneys helping your Minnesota attorney in Iowa and in Arkansas. That would be a common way to do it. But I would start with an attorney in your state and then listen to their advice. Just want to remind you, subscribe so that you get to see our future announcements. Thank you so much. See you again in 2 weeks.